2-2. And got him looking. Stevenson watches strike three. Tony Beasley gets his first win as a major league manager.
All right, and joining us right now from Minnesota, where the Rangers are about to take on the Minnesota Twins for the weekend, it's Texas Rangers interim manager Tony Beasley. Tony, thanks so much for stopping down and talking to us. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great this morning. Thanks for having me on.
Does your new title sound weird still?
Yeah, it kind of. I've got to get used to people calling me that. I've been a third base coach for 12 years at this level, and I'm just used to being referred to as that. So, but to hear interim manager or a manager period, I got to get used to that.
Yeah. All right. So yesterday we talked to you for a while. You said you felt normal, felt like a good day, and then it was a good day on the field. So, how do you think things are now going forward? Is it business as usual?
Yeah, that's how I felt yesterday. I mean, the first 3 days was a whirlwind of events and just a lot, and I think for all parties involved, everyone was kind of dazed and somewhat confused and just trying to sort things out and kind of get through those days. And so yesterday, it was the first day that I really felt like myself again. Like I said yesterday, I could smile again and feel like my smile was real and authentic. And that's what my players need. They need me to be me. And, that's what they loved about me, and that's what they've embraced about me. And so, I've got to continue to be true to who I am. And yesterday, I felt like that's who I was. I was able to I felt like I could contribute to the energy and to the purpose of the day. And so it was a good day yesterday. We started by celebrating Martin Perez's 10 years, and we did that as a team. And so we started on a high, and we finished on a high.
Yeah. I mean, 10 years is a huge deal for those who don't understand it. And you guys have had a couple guys hit it this year, but yeah. And you and Martin, you've known him the longest, and anybody on the coaching staff, maybe Doug Mathis, but it seems like you guys have a pretty good bond.
Yeah, we do. Martin was here when I came in 15. And so, that team and that camaraderie that was in that whole clubhouse was special. And the events that happened in my life as well that kind of bonded us even closer and, dealing with the cancer treatments and all of that. So it's just a whole different type of relationship. And so, we are bonded, we were family, and it goes beyond even the game. So, it's awesome to be able to be his leader and just motivate him and watch him continue to play and have a great season. And but yeah, we do have a good relationship. So it's fun to be a part of what he's doing this year.
One thing that I did notice, I don't know, maybe it was Tuesday. You're still throwing BP, now look, Ron Washington was my first manager, and he threw BP every day, and Woody got out there and was hitting grounders and wasn't just walking around. I think it's important that players see their manager work. Do you share that?
Yeah, I mean, and personally, that's how I'm wired. I mean, I have a hard time just watching.
Yeah. And
to be 100% honest with you, even the transition of leaving third base and just kind of being in the dugout, as a manager during the game, you kind of watching, and you may be talking to guys as they come through the bat and in between innings, trying to mingle, before the inning starts. But when I'm out at third base, I'm really, really, really engaged in what's happening, and I've got to make a lot of decisions based on probably the outcome of the game. So it's different because I'm used to being just really, really, really active and moving around. So BP was one thing that I'm not giving it up. The first day I couldn't get out there, and I did catch a lot of flack about it too. They were like, "Oh, you changed Coke out home." So it was all good. And then I told him, I said, "Well, okay, the next day I'm going to be out there. I'm not going to stop throwing BP." And so, I still do that. I'm still going to be out there with JJ helping with the outfielders, and obviously if we have a team, fundamental or something going on, I want to be involved. So I agree. I think it's important. If we want things to happen, then we've got to be present and make sure that it's important to us. Because if it's important to me, then it'll be important to the players.
So, how's your arm feel? Because look, you spent a lot of time in the minor leagues where there aren't as many coaches, and you don't have 12 coaches in the dugout like you do now. It seems like, but you've had to throw a lot of BP in your lifetime. So how's your arm feeling, man?
It's it's weird because my arm hurts or will get out of whack if I don't throw.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I've been throwing for so long. I don't think I can, really, like, if I had to make a long throw that mattered or what have you.
Yeah.
I don't have that anymore. But I think my arm has been groomed to throw batting practice, and I can do that every day. I really don't feel any pain or nothing. My arm doesn't bother me at all. But if I don't throw a day, the next day is weird. So I don't know.
Got to keep those muscles going. All right.
I can believe that. I've thrown Little League batting practice, and, man, that's a lot of pitches right there.
Hey, okay, so not to revisit Monday, but we're going to revisit Monday. When you got the news, what was your, like, when you were in there with Jon Daniels and Chris Young, did it like take your breath away? Were you like out of body experience? What was that like?
Yeah, I guess I was kind of just in some kind of trance, I guess. I mean, I was hearing what they were saying, but at the same time, I don't know if it was getting through. Like, it was kind of just bouncing off me a little bit because, first of all, for what I felt, as far as Woody's concerned, the relationship that we built over the last few years, it's genuine. So, I felt for him, number one. And then it's hard to be, I'm sad, and they tell me to take over. So it's like I'm going to start doing backflips. It's
right.
just not that kind of a moment. And then, addressing all the issues that we felt like, we wanted to address as far as the team is concerned, and things we wanted to see possibly adjusted for the remainder of the season. So it was all a lot. And I'm up for it. It's a challenge, but it's fun as well to have the opportunity to take on the ball club and try to get us to finish playing on a good note and having fun. So all of that, it just didn't resonate, immediately, but it just sent me into a state of brainstorming and trying to figure out what would be the next thing to do. What would be the best thing to do? What should I do first, and all of that. So, because ultimately my mind just went to, okay, get it done. I mean, I kind of always get to that.
Uh-oh.
Hold up.
In my mind, okay, let's beat it. That's it. And so it was kind of the same kind of scenario, just somewhat.
There he is.
All right. Yeah, we had a little
hiccup there, but you're good. We got the gist of that.
I think the hiccups are on our side, probably.
Probably.
You went, obviously, I'm sure you had that meeting. You probably talked to the coaches. You guys talked to the players. Then you got to talk to the media. When you revealed that you hadn't even talked to your wife yet. So did you? When did you finally get to talk to her, and what was that like?
I think I talked to my wife. It was after, I want to say it was maybe after batting practice. After I went out, because I went outside, we came back in, had a hitters meeting, and I think it was right after that I was able to call her real quick. I had some other stuff to do, but she already knew, so she was excited.
Yeah.
And I was just whatever, I don't know what adjective you could use to explain me. Like I said, I wasn't jumping for joy. Sure. I was just kind of numb. So she probably didn't hear the excitement in my voice. But she was really excited and proud for the opportunity, and my son was as well. So it was good to get to just hear their voices, and just I knew they support me, so I wasn't worried about that. But I just wanted to let them know that I was still there and still available. You know?
Okay, good. That's a big one. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think my wife would have probably sent me 1,000 text messages. Where? Call me.
Yeah,
Where are you?
what's going on?
I had roughly 700 text messages from former players, just people I've known
Good
over the
Lord.
years. I didn't realize I knew this many people, but everyone was very supportive, and so I appreciate it. That was kind of overwhelming, the amount of support that I received, and so it took me 2 days, but I tried to respond to everyone. I think I have.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of work in itself.
Oh my
Jeez,
gosh.
700.
Well, that part was fine, but it's just that some individuals, for them it's just it was a one-on-one text, but I was looking at a whole list of just responding, and then
Sure.
some people were starting to try to conversate, and I was like,
Yeah, you can't stop down 700
Later,
times and carry on a
dude, later.
conversation.
All right, so one of the former players you've come across is now the head of the baseball operations, Chris Young, and we also talked about this yesterday. So hopefully the answer is fresh in your mind. How do you think Chris is going to do in this job?
Chris will do fine. He's driven, he's motivated, he has a vision, he's very intelligent. There's nothing that he can't wrap his mind around and come up with a solution. But he's at the same time, he leans on people that he trusts for advice and guidance. He's going to be just fine. I'm going to do everything I can to help him and support him. And together we've got to work arm in arm and try to get things right. But I feel like we've already made some strides. As far as some things that we're doing, just getting everyone involved in the clubhouse and what have you, players, everyone's been helping. So it takes all of us to get it right. Every person that cares and wants to win and wants to see the Texas Rangers be relevant. We've all got a part to do, and that's all we're asking, that everyone do their part, and if everyone does their part to the best of their ability, then we all gain and we all succeed. So that's kind of what it's all about. And Chris has that mindset. And so it's tough for him as well,
Sure.
With JD, because they were very tight and they worked really closely together. And so I can't imagine, what he's feeling. But I can see the hurt on his face and on his voice. I can hear it. But no, he understands that he has a job to do, and I think as far as JD is concerned, I know what he wants us to do is continue moving forward and and just get the job done. That's what he wants. So that's what we're going to do.
Have you had a chance to talk to Woody or JD?
Yes, Woody and I have texted back and forth. We haven't spoken on the phone yet, but we've
Okay, hang on just a sec, guys.
multiple texts for me, and just let Woody know that I appreciated everything. Be around with.
Hey Tony, hang on a sec, Tony.
Hey Tony, hang on just a sec. Okay.
We had a blip.
Yeah. Okay. You're back now. We had a little blip there. Where I don't know if it's our end or your end, but just that question again, huh?
So it could be if he's in a hotel.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Anyway, can you repeat that answer?
Yeah. Just talking to Woody or JD.
Yeah, you said you got some text from him. Uh-oh.
Have we got you, Tony?
Yes,
Okay.
JD, you got me?
Yes.
You want me to start over?
Yeah.
Yeah, just with the answer. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yes, Woody and I have texted back and forth multiple times. JD and I, we've talked. But I just wanted, to let Woody know I appreciated everything he's done for me. He kept me here when he came as manager. He didn't have to do that. And he's been a great friend, and I've appreciated everything he's done. So, and he was the same way. He gave me a thumbs up and told me I was the right guy to lead the team. And if I needed anything from him, to just reach out. And so he's been outstanding with me. And JD, we talked, and just, we just had a conversation about, what he's meant to me, and I appreciate him, and I'm sorry for how, things turned out with him. And but we just had a good conversation amongst the two of us, and we're friends first,
Sure.
and then we were co-workers. So I appreciate everything he's done, but both of those guys are going to remain in my life.
Yeah, well, good. Then hopefully John and I can say the same thing about it. I've gotten text messages from him, and but yeah, I mean, I've known JD for 15 years, and we worked together on Do It for Durrett, which you helped out with a couple times. We appreciate, but yeah, I mean, it takes your breath away each time it happens, and so
Sure.
Yeah. All right, fun stuff. What do you see with this team doing the rest of the way?
Well, I'm not Nostradamus, but at the same time, I mean,
I'm gonna spit up my drink, Tony.
Yes, yesterday was the way I envisioned, us playing, and I'm not saying that in the sense of scoring 10 runs every night, but in the sense of the energy and the way we attack the game. That's what I envision on the field, and obviously, that starts with things that we do prior to the game, and the messages that we send, and the things that we deem important. And I thought yesterday, like Simeon and Seager, they set the tone. My light kind of went dim in here. I don't know if that matters.
No
but
way.
Simeon and Seager set the tone for me yesterday when on the first to third, and then Seager followed him up going to second. I mean, I just felt like that was an energy play. And it was a play that when your two, top players do it, everyone has to follow suit. And so I love, how that play just gave me chill bumps. Obviously, we had a lot of big hits yesterday. We had timely hitting. We had some good things in small ball with Bubba. Bubba's always exciting. Him and Tavares, they can do things. But when Simeon and Seager lead the way and show the team that, hey, we're gonna get after it, that was, to me, that set the tone for the whole day. And so I told Sim during the game, so that's my favorite play of the day. That was before the game was over. So nothing could have happened in my mind to trump that, because that's who we are. It was an identity play. It's like how we're going to play the game, and that set a tone. So if I would have a vision for the remainder of the season, if we could play with that type of energy and that type of urgency, then I'd be satisfied.
You mentioned Bubba. He put down a bunt. I don't know if it was yesterday or Tuesday. It wasn't a great bunt. It was kind of, the pitcher had a pretty easy track to it, and Bubba beat it.
Yeah,
it's like he can get on base with a bad bunt. I mean, I know you don't want him to bunt every time, but dang it, he can do a lot of things.
But that's on the defense's mind every time he comes up.
Yeah. He's just something else.
Absolutely. I mean, every team plays him tight on the corners, and he may be the one guy that could bunt pretty much regularly, and if he puts it in a decent spot, no matter where you're playing him, it's going to be a difficult play to make. And so, yeah, I mean, yesterday's bunt was like towards the first base line. He enticed the first baseman to commit. And then once he makes the first baseman commit, there's very few pitchers going to beat him to first base.
Yeah, that's
right.
If the pitcher flinches, like if he flinches, then he has no play at first. So team's going to have to design a play for him to combat bunting. But then that's going to open up, holes in the infield because he does hit a lot of ground balls as well.
Yep.
And so, I think the way he plays the game offensively, it fits his skill set. And it's exciting, and man, if he can just get to first base, he changes the whole inning.
Absolutely,
and because he affects the game with his speed. So yeah, it's exciting, man.
The thing I liked yesterday, his first at bat, he gets called out for interference on the throw for being not in the runner's lane. So then the second at bat, it was like he immediately went to the dirt. I thought hey man, he learned his lesson.
There you go.
I thought, hey, that's a heady play.
Yeah, that interference, running in the baseline, it's kind of a
Subjective.
it's the rule. It's the rule. We can't do anything about it, and we all know it. But it happens so much, especially on plays like that. And I'm hoping they kind of adjust that rule just a little bit. I mean, if there's intent or something that we just take the throwing lane away and with intent, or I'm sure they're going to adjust that rule at some point, because it's really hard to run in that 45. It's kind of tough to do that.
Yeah.
Well, he was going to be safe anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the thing. They rewarded the defensive team, even though they had been beaten. They bailed them out, and so I don't know, but
that's the thing about that play. That it's kind of it's tough. It's a tough one. I don't really like that play.
Yeah.
But I think because as a defender, you got to find your throwing lane, and I mean that ball is thrown inside. I mean you get rewarded for making a bad throw most of the time.
Right.
Sure.
The first baseman can always get to the same side and have a throwing lane, and the base runner rarely takes that throwing lane away. To be honest with you.
Yeah. If you're a defensive team, just coach them. Yeah, just drill the runner in the back.
Absolutely. Seems to work every time.
So, all right, I'm done with my questions. John's got a couple more, and then we'll get you out of here.
Yeah, mine are the fun ones, because I've been dying to have you on well before any of this week happened, but I always like to go into some of the fun stuff. First of all, you're from Milford, Virginia, right? You went to Caroline High School, is that right?
Yeah, Caroline High School, and I'm actually, I have to say Sparta, Virginia.
Sparta, Virginia.
Yeah, because that's kind of where my location is. I mean, if I want to get a little bit broader, it would be Bowling Green, Virginia.
Okay.
And, but Caroline County, it covers all of that. So that would probably be the best way to say it. But yeah, it's a little small town in Virginia, probably 30 minutes north of Richmond, Virginia.
Right, and we were talking about that. So I thought it might look. I said, looks like it might be about 30 minutes from Richmond. So now, did you play any other sports in high school when you were growing up?
No, my high school coach and my dad were real tight. They played baseball together in the Sandlot stuff, and so they grew up together. And he didn't allow me to play other sports. I wanted to play football really bad. So there was a time when I kept begging to play football. My high school coach didn't want it because he'd think, oh, you get hurt, then who's going to have to play baseball? And so they allowed me to go out for football, and I went through practices and made the team, and then kind of had to quit because they were like, okay, you made the team. It's kind of like, okay, you achieved it. Now,
now get out.
So I didn't play. I never played any other sport, and so it's just baseball was my thing, and I was kind of forced to stay in that. So it's all good.
It
worked
worked
out.
Yeah.
I guess they had some type of vision.
Yeah. So you ended up going to Liberty University there in Virginia. Did you have any other schools you were interested in, or was that the best one?
Well, I went to Lewisburg Junior College first. That's in North Carolina. But prior to Lewisburg Junior College, I have 7 brothers and sisters, and no one in my family had went to college prior to me, and so in my family, immediate family. So my mom said she wanted at least one of us to go, and so I figured baseball was my ticket to go because we didn't have money. But I was sitting in class one day, and it was a phone call, and I went to the guidance counselor, and it was Clemson University. It was Dave Littlefield.
Wow.
He was the recruiter there at the time, and they offered me a full scholarship to come to Clemson University and play baseball, and I said no. And because I was overwhelmed, it was a big school. I'm coming from a little tiny town, poor, and I was like afraid of a big university initially.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about college. I had no one in my family to talk about college or have experienced college. So college to me was, I don't know. It was like I knew nothing. Had no idea what to expect. And so he referred me to Lewisburg Junior College. He said it's a smaller school, and he said once you're done there, then come to Clemson. And so I said okay, and that's what sent me to Lewisburg. And then after graduating at Lewisburg, I had opportunity to go to Clemson, to Kentucky, to some smaller schools, and also into Liberty University. They were all offering me full scholarships as well. I was a pitcher then, and I wanted to play the infield. And everyone was recruiting me to pitch. I didn't really want to pitch because I figured I had no chance of playing professional baseball as a pitcher. I was too little.
Right.
I threw okay, but I was just too little. And so Bobby Richardson was the head coach at Liberty University. Bobby Richardson from the Yankees.
Sure.
Yeah, he was the head coach. And I went and I sat with him and we talked. And I was very impressed with him. Obviously, he's an unbelievable man. And the school was unbelievable. The facilities were great. So I asked him if he would allow me the opportunity to play the infield. I said, you were a second baseman, like you understand, you're major league great, so you know what an infielder should look like. I said, if you would give me an opportunity in the fall to play the infield, and I said, if I'm not good enough in your eyes, then I'll pitch as much as you want me to pitch. No questions asked. I said, if you'll do that, then I'll be pretty willing to commit here to Liberty. And he gave me his word. And I didn't visit. I visited one other school, Mount Olive College, that was in North Carolina, but it was kind of but Liberty was, and so it worked out perfectly. I came to fall and I played short and some second, but mostly shortstop. And he was like, "Yeah, you're my shortstop." And so I started playing shortstop at Liberty.
All right.
And then I would come in late and pitch to finish out games. So that
worked out.
Yes.
That's a pretty small world, Dave Littlefield.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is. And then I ended up, he was with the Pirates when I was there. So he ended up being my boss, later when I was coaching in the Pirate organization. Baseball is such a small world.
Well, then Scott's a Ranger scout.
Scott is with us.
Yeah.
As a scout.
We already know you've beat cancer. We already know you can sing like nobody else. But I asked this question to all of them: what is something that nobody knows about Tony Beasley? Some answers we've had, which have been fun, like Jack Leiter hates peanut butter. There's some of the
Brock Burke, the sleepwalker.
Brock Burke. Yeah, that was my biggest claim to fame. I found that out. What is something that nobody knows about Tony Beasley besides you beat cancer and that you can sing like nobody else?
He's a lumberjack.
What?
In the off season, I can put a chainsaw in my hand and cut a tree down and drive heavy equipment like no other. I do that. I do that every off season with my brothers.
Really?
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Believe it or not, I've got to take a tree out of my backyard. He knows we're about to put a pool in, so I got to take one out. So I may have to hire Beasley after the off season. Okay. All right, Tone. Hey, Tony, we're gonna get you out of here. Thanks so much for joining us today. I know you take time. It's a busy week. You're now in charge of running that team, and for stopping down and doing this and getting up early for us, we really appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Jeff. You guys have a great day.
All right, you too.
That's interim manager Tony Beasley from Minnesota. Rangers are taking on Twins this weekend. When we come back, we're going to go down in the bus leagues. Thanks, Tony.